explains how the black brothers felt who died that day out there in that prison. The warden Rockefeller sent word, shoot to kill if they don't give up in 5 minutes.
Muhammad Ali was a professional boxer from the United States, as well as an activist and philanthropist. He's generally recognized as one of the most important and famous personalities of the 20th century and is often listed as the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time. In 1960, Ali won an Olympic gold medal, and in 1964, he was crowned World Heavyweight Boxing Champion. In addition, he had a 56-win record.
About the legend Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay, and it's a big honor. It makes me feel good.
If you enjoy these videos, please remember to hit the like button, as it does help us out a lot. And comment below who your favorite celebrity is that you'd love to see in an upcoming video. His full name is Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr., but is also known as the Greatest. He was born January 17, 1942 in Louisville, Kentucky, making him 74 at the time of this production. He stands at 6 feet 3 inches tall. Ali enjoyed reading, writing poetry, working out, and participating in sports. He was so passionate about music that he released 2 albums, I Am the Greatest and Ali and His Gang vs. Mr. Tooth Decay. He even wrote a few of the songs himself. Politics was also something he was interested in. Ali was a Democrat who campaigned for President Jimmy Carter in 1980. Ali mostly defended civil rights and racial equality issues. He was a pro-Palestinian activist who was also granted honorary citizenship in Bangladesh. Ali has 7 daughters and 2 sons from his 4 marriages. Herbert Muhammad introduced Ali to cocktail waitress Sonia Roy, and after their first date, he asked her to marry him. On August 14, 1964, they married almost a month later. They got into an argument over Sonia's reluctance to join the Nation of Islam. Ali claims that she refused to do what was expected of her. She applied lipstick, she went to clubs, she dressed in exposing and inappropriate clothing. They divorced on January 10, 1966, after a childless marriage. Ali wrote Sonia a letter just before the divorce was completed saying, "You exchanged paradise for hell, sweetheart." According to Ali's brother, Rahman, she was Ali's one real love, and the Nation of Islam forced Ali to divorce her, which Ali never recovered from. Ali married Belinda Boyd on August 17, 1967. She was born into a Chicago family that had converted to the Nation of Islam, and she subsequently changed her name to Khalila Ali, but old friends and relatives continue to refer to her as Belinda. They have 5 children, including Mariam, Maymay, born 1968, twins Jamila and Rasheda, born 1970, Biagio Ali, born 1998, and Muhammad Ali Jr., born 1972. In the early 1970s, Ali lived in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Ali started an adulterous relationship with 16-year-old Wanda Bolton, who later changed her name to Aisha Ali when he was 32 years old, with whom he fathered another daughter, Kalia, born 1974. Ali married Aisha in an Islamic wedding that was not legally recognized while he was still married to Belinda. Aisha and her mother, according to Kalia, shared Ali's Deer Lake training camp with Belinda and her children. Aisha sued Ali for unpaid palimony in January 1985. Ali agreed to set up a $200,000 trust fund for Kalia, and the matter was resolved. Kalia was reported in 2001 as believing her father saw her as a mistake. Mia, born in 1972, was Ali's child from an adulterous relation with Patricia Harville.
It means people who don't really know much about me, it'll tell them more about who I am.
Muhammad Ali was born Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. in Louisville, Kentucky. One of 6 children, he was named after his father, Cassius Marcellus Clay Sr. His father painted billboard signs, and his mother, Odessa O'Grady Clay, stayed at home to raise Cassius and his younger brother. He attended Central High School in Louisville and struggled with a learning disorder throughout school. Growing up amid racial segregation, Cassius experienced many acts of racial injustice and prejudice, such as being denied getting a drink of water at a store. He was profoundly affected by the 1955 murder of Emmett Till, which led him and a friend vandalizing a local rail yard in showing of protest. At the age of 12, he started training as an amateur boxer. He won a gold medal at the 1960 Summer Olympics in the light heavyweight class at the age of 18 and went professional later that year. After 1961, he converted to Islam. On February 25, 1964, at the age of 22, he defeated Sonny Liston in a stunning upset to win the world heavyweight title. He declared on March 6, 1964, that he would no longer be recognized as Cassius Clay and would instead be known as Muhammad Ali. Ali declined to be conscripted into the military in 1966, claiming his religious convictions and moral objection to the Vietnam War as justifications. He risked 5 years in jail and the loss of his boxing championships after being found guilty of draft dodging. He remained out of jail while appealing his conviction to the Supreme Court, which reversed it in 1972, but he'd not fought in almost 4 years and had missed out on a time of peak athletic performance. Ali became a hero for the wider counterculture generation as a conscientious objector to the Vietnam War, and he was a high-profile symbol of racial pride for African Americans throughout the civil rights struggle and throughout his career. Ali was originally a member of Elijah Muhammad's Nation of Islam as a Muslim. Later, he disavowed the NOI, converting to Sunni Islam and advocating racial integration with his mentor Malcolm X. Ali became interested in boxing at the age of 12 after his bike was stolen and he flew into a wild rage at the scene of the crime. The police officer on the scene saw his anger and advised him to channel it into boxing. Ali partnered with boxing coach Fred Stoner, and together they would go on to win many championships, including 6 Kentucky Golden Gloves, an amateur athletic junior title, and 2 national Golden Gloves. He made his debut in 1954 in a victory against local boxer Ronnie O'Keefe. For the last 4 years of his amateur career, he was trained by Chuck Bodock. His biggest achievement as an amateur was winning the light heavyweight gold medal at the 1960 Olympics in Rome. His amateur record was 100 wins and 5 losses. Ali fought one last time on December 11, 1981 in Nassau, Bahamas against Trevor Berbick, losing a 10-round decision. By the end of his boxing career, Ali had absorbed an estimated 200,000 hits. Ali was a 3-time world heavyweight champion and Olympic champion. He was considered by most the greatest of all time.
Somebody take the time to make a movie about my life, and it makes you a humble feeling.
Wow.
Ali was not the first boxer to earn $1 million for a fight. That honor went to Gene Tunney in 1927 for his rematch against Jack Dempsey. But Ali did earn $2.5 million in 1971 to fight Joe Frazier. That's the same as $15 million today. He then earned $5.45 million fighting George Foreman in 1974. That's the same as $26 million today. Ali's biggest career paycheck came in 1980 when he took home $7.9 million for fighting Larry Holmes. Interestingly, when adjusted for inflation, $7.9 million in 1980 is equal to $22 million today, which technically makes Ali's $5.45 million in 1974 check the biggest payday of his career. In 2006, Ali reportedly sold the rights to his name and image for $50 million. As part of that deal, Ali held on to a 20% interest in his licensing. That 20% stake has resulted in $7 million per year in revenue. Ali's net worth is estimated to be $50 million. The boxing legend, who died in 2016 at the age of 74, purchased the sprawling home in 1979 and resided there with his third wife, Veronica Portia Ali, and their 2 children until they parted ways in 1986. The impressive estate boasts a grand entry hall, a spacious living room, a den with a wet bar, and a 1,016-square-foot guest house. Cars you would have found in Ali's garage include a Cadillac, a 1970 Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow, a 1974 Alfa Romeo Spider, and a Mercedes-Benz.